Hi and good morning, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Monday morning to join me. I really appreciate it. Just like you, I myself am also gearing up for a productive, functioning middle-aged adult work week. So that's super interesting and I'm very excited about that. Thanks to, new subscribers and people that watch the channel. I really appreciate it. If you by happen to catch this video in chance like later on down the road, in the future, then just know that your view is greatly appreciated. And it might take you a couple weeks to get the video. Somewhere along down the line, you will get it. And it's just what a lovely experience this whole shift in the weather has been for all of us. It's really cold right now and it'll be really hot soon. But, anyways, let's not be old and talk about boring things like weather. What I do want to talk about are things that I have been thinking about this morning, which are good cups of coffee and freaky freaks. Like, okay, we're gonna try our best to not go so far as I'm saying these things out loud, just friendly reminder, all of these talks that I have to myself that I broadcast to the world shamelessly here on YouTube are not scripted. They're just completely improvisational. So what I speak, I'm thinking, and what I'm thinking sometimes isn't I don't know, PC or appropriate, but I try to make it work, you feel me? But anyways, going back to that point, we're not going to like the dark side of the freak word in that we're going to discuss and explore the freak. I think that people enjoy a good freak. I think you're probably a freak. I think a part of me enjoys a good freak. But we're going to describe exactly what I think I mean when I say everyone is kind of a little freaky. What freakiness is, and how it's not in any way, shape, or form related to freaking off. As if that is going to be a word someday in the dictionary. Freak off, a term introduced by P. Diddy, who was convicted of, so forth, so on and so forth. That would be hilarious. Shout out to Merriam-Webster, or whoever's still in charge of making that dictionary. You'd hope they're still making dictionaries, right? That's still a thing. Of course it's still a thing. Google it. That's what comes up. Dictionary.com, Merriam-Webster. These guys still have dictionaries. It's still a thing. People still need to know what words mean. I'm sure at some point, too, there's actual books out there that have it written, even though we don't see them. It's kind of good to have those things for record. But regardless, we're talking about freakiness. And I guess we'll get the good cup of coffee thing out of the way because I just have enjoyed a really good cup of coffee. And shout out to my roommate, right, who's always advising me on things, and sometimes I'm like, all right, I'll get around to it. But hand ground coffee, is like really good, especially if the bean is good, like the whole bean of the coffee. This is like something very new to me, but it's pretty cool. I mean, it's not new to me in a sense that I haven't done these actions or whatever, like in real life. You feel me? I mean, we used to hand ground or hand crank coffee per cup for fanciful people in Starbucks when I was younger, and that was like a whole thing. So, anyways, can you imagine spending like $20,000 on an espresso machine? That's crazy. You know, I mean, it takes most of us like a good half a year to make $20,000, and we don't even really make that. And after taxes, we still kind of owe something. It's kind of like working for temporary living assistance. It's like, anyways, so we're gonna now talk about freaks. Okay, so obviously, sometimes people think of freakiness in a kind of like provocative sensual manner, and I kind of want to fray from that. I want to say that like we're not going to be talking about how a person, you know is like similar to a cat in heat and feels freaky or whatever. But again, I'll conclude that whole thing with like it's just an overall term, and that I think just like as much as you're attracted to that person physically, and or like the limits and boundaries that are comfortable and set within that relationship, I'm pretty sure that all of us can quietly and safely assume that we've had some really freaky experiences, you know? And hey, how is that not a good thing? But now let's talk about like other freaky things. You feel me? Just like random I was gonna say it. I was gonna say random freak offs in the sense that like one offs, but they're like freak offs, but not freak offs. Anyways, holy potatoes, man! How can you kill an entire vibe? Like, or like you feel me? Cause like I mean, yeah. Anyways, but so like one off so being freaked out one time. Well, that's what we'll say. Could be like, watching a movie or like just thinking about how cringe and weird some things are, and like silently laughing to yourself. I think things like that are kind of like well within the realm. Supernatural things. You feel me? That's freaky. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Freaky Friday. That's oh yeah, okay, because I'm a millennial and I'm pretty sure that movie is like a super older movie, but also Little Dicky wrote a really cool song with Chris Brown actually called Freaky Friday. So yeah, and like what constitutes a freak? Is a freak something that isn't of the social norm? Is it something that is like an outlier, something that's not conformative? Is that what a freak is? So are you saying like a freak is a rational and intelligent, logical thinking entity, as it concerns not wanting to conform or having a different appearance? I was watching this whole thing, like this whole documentary, and obviously it's because, well, like people, value, like, there's something interesting, like, about people that look different or people that act different, that are behave different. I mean, anything sort of again without like outside the normal box or whatever. I think that could be construed as freaky. And just like not scary. Yeah, scary things are freaky things. Drones flying over the country, collecting and capturing all of our most sensitive data, that's freaky. That's a freaky thing that's happening. Like, I'm just saying, that's not a normal thing. 20 years ago, people would be like, that's weird, just a bunch of random things flying above us at all times, without our knowledge. And then I guess when we do obtain the knowledge of seeing these things, our government is just like, not, don't worry about it. Those are just, don't worry about it. We can't tell you what they are, but we can tell you not to worry about it. Okay. Uncle Sam says not to worry. Anyways, I hope that you guys are gonna have a really good week. I'm gonna try to have a good week. I'm just chilling right now. I have enjoyed a really good cup of coffee, and I'm having a blast in my own mind right now, thinking about all of the different connotations that freak implies. I often find that like old people will use freak as a slight, and again, as if that's not like the most best compliment ever. I think the person that's projecting that as a slight, calling people freaky or freaks as it's some sort of bad thing, I think those people are probably like the people that are, you know, quote freaky close quote, in that like they're probably the weirdos. They probably do the freakiest things, that are like not cool freaky. That's the other thing. It's categorically speaking, there's levels to freakiness. I mean, there's freaky songs, there's freaky movies, and again, it goes both ways. Freaky is a whole vibe, and it can get too weird, but then when it's in the middle, it's just kind of perfect. And I again can't tell you that I don't enjoy a good freak. But like again, not just I'm not going there. I'm not saying that. Although I'm just saying that freak is not a bad thing and being different is not bad. And moreover, being called a freak is, I think, a compliment. I think people that when I grew up, when I was younger, last century, years ago, I know that people would vibe on being different. People would be okay with not being the same as everyone else. And if that made them a freak, then they owned it, you know? I mean, I've gone through an emo phase. Is that like a generational thing? If you're younger and watching this, do you know, is that like a thing? Have you gone through your emo phase? Is that something now that we all kind of go through? I know that I did. And I know that I've had a lot of fun talking this morning to you about Freak and Good Cups of Coffee. Although we didn't talk about the coffee long enough, we've talked about that a lot. Friendly reminder, there's close to 900 videos just below you. So I appreciate the engagement. Thanks for hitting thumbs up, thumbs down, or just watching the video and subscribing. It makes me really happy, and it means a whole lot to the channel. So I really appreciate it. I'm cracking up right now because like I kind of did just wake up, and it is kind of early, and I don't have any contacts right now, so I'm entirely blind to the world. I don't know what I look like. It's not like, I guess, anyways. And then I had to change my shirt. I had to do like a costume change, because wardrobe change, because I can't seem to be clean. And like I'm like the opposite of clean, which obviously, why don't I just say it's like I'm a messy person, you know? Like, I mean, there's like coffee on me. I just, it's all right, you know. I own it. I do laundry once a week, which is a reminder to myself that I got to get the laundry out of the washer and put it in the dryer. So I'm gonna do that. Anyways, man, I want a girlfriend. Wouldn't it be nice to have some help? You know, I guess that's the one and only thing I miss about my ex. Shout out to my ex, who could have been my mother, or maybe even grandma. I know, super cringe, but hey, that's what happens when you date somebody that's 26 years older than you. Anyways, shout out to her, because she used to not only do my laundry, but she used to fold my laundry. So, yeah, that was the one good thing about that whole relationship, is that I could definitely count on having clean laundry. Maybe that was like some sort of underlying slight to me, again, because I told you that I'm kind of like a messy person, and I do have a lot of clothes, and so you know, I have to change a lot. And so like when I'm not able, anyways, I just recently rebuilt my wardrobe, for the record, because that same woman who also was responsible for one of the most pleasant experiences in my life, moreover 98% of the most unpleasant experiences of my life, but hey, that good 2% that she did for me was awesome. Valuing a person because they do your laundry is something I feel is underrated. Hey, if somebody out there does your laundry for you, thank them. But just remind them that, like, you know, you really appreciate the action of them actually doing that, because you don't have to. And doing your own laundry sucks, especially when you have a lot of clothes, you feel me? And we don't live in a big city, so you don't really have the option if you don't have a car, which is weird, like putting your clothes in a car to take to a place to have them washed so that they can fold them for you. Although I'd still rather do that, I think, even though it's super unproductive and extremely wasteful. It would be better and way more productive if there were like 15-minute city kind of concepts, and you lived in a densely populated place, and you could just walk your laundry on over to a laundromat that had wash and fold service, you know? I mean, this is a service that is like a half a century old. Something that, you know, people like myself or other normal people that grow up in places that don't have these kinds of services available to them, never get to experience. So I'm just saying, they like apartment complexes. Like, if you guys want to make more money, like seriously, like turn one of the unused fitness rooms into like a wash and fold service. You know, I'm sure like that'd be a very profitable thing, honestly, especially for like private apartment owners out there. Shout out to them. Are there any private apartment owners out there? Straight up put a wash and fold service in your apartment complex. You would blow up for real. Like, seriously. I mean, again, forget the people who, I mean, you forget even like you're late on your rent. Oh, that's fine. You spent $600 on wash and fold this month, sir. It's all good. I'm just saying, like, that's a really good idea. I think that should, I'm sure it's a thing. I'm sure, like at a hotel, fancy hotels. I've been to fancy hotels before. I stayed in this one in Western Philadelphia at UPenn, which is an Ivy League school in University City, and I stayed at Hilton there for a long time, for a couple weeks, and they had this incredible wash and fold service. It was like you would like leave your room, and they would like come in and grab all your dirty clothes, and then like you would like the next morning they would deliver them to you like on a rack, all in classic and stuff, like all of your clothes. It was like all of your clothes. Can you imagine that? I'm a poor man. You feel me? Getting my socks washed and like separately folded and garnered fanciful over like its own hanger. Like that's like a vibe. Like I just and so that was cool. Really fancy things, I guess, are cool like that. I hope you guys have a really good day. Thank you for watching my channel. Bye.